All right, welcome back to the channel. This week we are testing the 2025 Hyundai Tucson Ultimate, and it's the hybrid version. So the 2025 version, last experience I had with this thing was in 2024 with the N-Line. So not a lot of changes. Obviously, the normal Tucsons don't get the N-Line treatment. We don't get the sporty bits, but we do get some luxury features. So overall, not a bad looking SUV, just first impressions, kind of walk around wise. I like the front grille. It's been revised now for a little bit, so it's kind of the standard one you're seeing on the road, but I do think it's quite nice. I like the rims here too. I do prefer the N-Line kind of spec on the exterior anyways. A little bit of chrome there out back, as well as we have the hybrid badge and the H-Track badge, because this is of course all-wheel drive as well. Hybrid means that it's going to adjust itself. Plug-in hybrid means you got to do a little bit more management. So let's check out the trunk here. Of course, automatic opening and closing, a ton of trunk space. This is just a massive amount of trunk space, and you can fold the seats down. See what we got underneath the floor. Yeah, not too bad. And no spare tire, but you got the tire mobility kit, which won't be that hard to use should you get a flat. And yeah, I like the fact that it's opening and closing automatic, and you know, so far pretty good family size SUV. It's hard not to like it, especially when you have a family like I do. So let's hop in. I'll give you my first impression. The key's not in the vehicle, that's why it's beeping, but let's hop in. All right, so on the road for pretty much the second time, as this is the pickup day, and I've picked up the Hyundai Tucson, however you want to say it, and it is the hybrid version. Not the plug-in hybrid version, which would give us a little bit more EV range, probably a dedicated EV mode as well. You have to excuse the fan noise you hear here, because it is quite warm. It's warming up here in Quebec, finally. So, first driving impressions for the Tucson. It's a simple ride, right? Really easy to maneuver. It's actually quite a quiet ride. I don't hear a lot of noise. You know, of course, the engine isn't loud, not supposed to be anything performance here, so that's good. And also the road noise is very quiet as well. It's just a very seamless experience, which is what you'd want from, you know, a family SUV such as the Tucson. It's not my first experience with the Tucson. I had the Tucson N-Line back in the winter last year, and I liked it then. And I think the premium version, so the ultimate version, is maybe a little bit more nicer stuff in here. I've got the leatherette. I've got you know, the ventilated seats and stuff. Now, the one thing that does bother me interior-wise, just off of first impression, is this liner. It is, you know, not matched to the interior color. I mean, if my interior is black, the liner should be black or gray or something. This is just not skinned at all. I mean, I always find that lazy. I always find that doesn't look good, especially on an ultimate trim. This has to match the color of at least the dashboard. Like, put something on it. We're paying top dollar for this Hyundai. I feel like this can't be there. And it bothers me on basically any vehicle, even the base model. I'll kind of let the base model get away with it, but I can't let the ultimate version get away with it. That's the thing that's bothering me the most. But other than that, really great driving experience so far here. I think I'm going to save a decent amount on fuel, which is really good, because lately I've been spending quite a bit of money on these gas prices. So the fact that I've got a hybrid that's going to manage itself is very cool. I've also got different drive modes. I've got, like, you know, a sand mode, a snow mode, stuff like that, so you can kind of have different terrains. Sport mode is pretty responsive, actually. Brake response is good. Obviously, it's turning on the H-Track all-wheel drive system. I don't think it's always on. I think when I'm in eco mode, I'm sure it's just powering the front wheels, which is good if it's able to do that. It kind of will help us save that much more money on the road here. So sport mode, pretty responsive. It's as responsive as you want. Like, it's as fast as you need an SUV to be for, like, your family SUV. Again, you know, you're not looking for crazy performance, but pretty good. You know, it's got a decent amount of get up and go to it, so can't hate on it there. Not looking for a lot of performance though, but definitely enough to get on the highway and overtake slower traffic. So that's going to be very important in the long run. So I'll pick it back up a little bit later this week. We'll show you everything, what it's like to live with a Hyundai Tucson. I'll pick it back up later on in the week. All right, welcome back outside with the Hyundai Tucson. So let's take a little bit of a second walk around, see what you guys think of the spec, the color, the rims. Would you configure it this way? I think I would. Maybe I take the N-Line because I tend to like the look a little bit better Those are like the rims a little more too, but still the Ultimate version has its nice bits as well. 360-degree camera, and the high quality stuff. It's all quite high quality for reasonably priced, I guess you could say, 50 grand when you include everything. And that's of course Canadian. You don't see any exhaust back here because, well, it's a hybrid and it's not really a sports car. It's more meant for your family outings. I mean, I do like the new look of the Tucsons. I like them when they first did the redesign. I like them now. Slight changes, but nothing really too huge for Hyundai, but a very good job. But let me know, do you like this color? Would you choose a different color? Do you like the Tucson design overall? Like, how do you feel about it? I really want to know what you think in the comments. Let me know, and I'll pick it back up later. All right, so sitting now inside the Hyundai Tucson, a very nice place to spend time. So let's take a look at it. So once you sit down in the driver's seat, you're greeted by the standard kind of new age Hyundai steering wheel that has, on the right hand side, you got some media controls. Left hand side, you've got your elite lane centering assist button and your cruise control, as well as the ability to control the digital gauge cluster. All the way to the left, got illumination controls, 12-volt battery reset. We've got a track control on or off, and also the trunk button. And we do have 2 levels of memory seat settings. Since this is the ultimate trim or the ultimate package, I get pretty much all the bells and whistles Hyundai offers. Now, I do get a digital gauge cluster as well, which is very nice to look at. I've got a couple of different menu settings here where I can see different fuel economy stuff and engine temperature and stuff like that, but I usually leave it on the charging. I've also got a heads-up display, which is nice to have. Also, if I turn my turn signal on, you can see I've got the camera that comes up. It's a very nice Hyundai feature that we see before, but I still really do enjoy having it here. Then if I move over, we've got a completely digital gauge cluster, very easy to use, but if you've seen any of the newer Hyundais, then you've probably seen this one too. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, built-in navigation, you name it, it's here. I also like the fact that if I go into setup and I go vehicle and then I go drive mode, my drive mode, I can actually put it into baby mode, which is very cool. So select the drive mode, optimized for driving with an infant or child in the vehicle. That is very, very cool. Then if I move down a little bit more, I've got the HVAC controls. It's like it's not haptic or anything. It's just like touch buttons, but it's heated and ventilated seats. Like I said, I do have the ultimate package. I've also got dual zone automatic climate control, some quick access buttons for up here for setup, map, media, stuff like that. So still good to have some physical buttons with our HVAC and our kind of media controls there. So not too bad. Dropping a little bit lower though, got a USB-C port, got some chargers, got a USB-C port, got some storage right down here, quite a bit of storage. Actually got buttons all along here for my drive mode. So I've got my drive mode is sport mode. I've got my drive and I've got eco, which is basically the normal one. This is a hybrid vehicle, so eco should be the normal one. That is good news. I've also got terrain mode, so we've got snow, mud, and sand modes here as well. Press this button right here, and I'll actually get the 360-degree camera where I can kind of move around the vehicle should I want to, or kind of change the angles. Whatever you want to do is right there. Wireless charging pad right here as well, 2 cup holders, and a little bit of storage in here too, which is always very nice to have. Now the passenger as well gets kind of like this little shelf for their phone or whatever else they want to use it for, but it's a very nice kind of cloth material up here mixed with some leather. The one biggest complaint I have is that, this being the ultimate version, this should not be here. This should be black. This should not be that color at all. It's kind of the basic color. They didn't put any effort into it. To me, it just shows like too much cost cutting. I don't think it costs that much more to make this black or to match this color with this color. I think it's pretty doable, and I don't like it when I see that, especially in the top trim. That is a no-no for me. Please fix this in the future, Hyundai, because this might be something, like, I'm a picky person. I've driven quite a bit of cars. This might be something that makes me not want to do it, but I think for most people, the features in this thing you'll get used to having this, so no problem there. I do like, though, that the baby seat has more than enough room that my passenger in the front as well does not have a compromised kind of leg room. So that's very good as well. So a ton of space in the back as well. No complaints there. Massive sunroof. We like that as well. So overall, a decent place to spend time. Tons of features, as you always expect from Hyundai, from a pretty reasonable price. And yeah, I like that I have the ultimate version. It does make things that much nicer. So I'll pick it back up a little bit later. All right, so welcome back on the road with the Tucson. Spent a little bit more time with the hybrid and stuff like that, so we can talk a little bit about the fuel consumption thus far. Although I haven't really driven it that much this week. I simply haven't had time. Lots of stuff at the office, lots of stuff at home, like just no time to get out and explore in the Tucson like I really would want to do. But still, overall, the experience has been pretty decent. I do enjoy driving it. It's just like, it's your bread and butter, like, every day driver. Like, there's just no issue. That's what it does. That's all it is really meant to do. It's not meant to be fast. It's not meant to be a cornering demon. Nothing like that. It is meant to go get your groceries, to get to work, to pick my daughter up from daycare. Like, all that stuff, it excels at. It is so good at. And I've got a ton of features in here for a relatively good price. I got the cameras in my blind spot. I've got heated and ventilated seats. I mean, there's a lot of things in here that I really do enjoy, and it's, I find it hard to find things to really complain about that much. Now, that said, I do have a sport mode. It is not that fast. It's like a little... So it starts off, that was basically the extent of it. It starts off mostly in EV mode, and then it will kick the engine on, as kind of required. But really not a fast vehicle by any means. But again, it's not supposed to be that. It is supposed to be just a cruiser like I'm doing right now, and I'm completely happy doing that. And also, the slower you go, usually, you're going to save that much more gas. So I have done, let's see here if I can find the menu. So I've done about 50 kilometers at this point, and I'm doing 11.2 liters per 100 kilometers, which for a hybrid isn't great, but I will say that your fuel economy will probably look a lot better than mine. I think you can get this into the low 8s, maybe even the 7s if you drive on the highway a lot. Like, I'm using this car for filming, so it's often just sitting there in idle. It's not doing anything, and it's just constantly switching battery, engine. It's not actually doing it. But if you drive on the highway, like you got a long work commute or just generally a further work commute, this thing will be absolutely efficient. I do wholeheartedly believe that. I think I prefer, hybrids over plug-in hybrids a lot of the time, because with the plug-in hybrids, if you don't manage the battery properly, if it drains too quickly or whatever, especially in the winter and stuff, you just end up lugging around this heavy dead battery that's not giving you any efficiency. You're just lugging around something that's just not really working, so you end up spending more fuel, whereas a hybrid system is able to manage itself and stuff like that. This hybrid system too does have a little bit of regenerative braking. I can see that when I kind of let off the gas, it'll kind of tell me that it's charging, and it'll tell me what it's doing. Like, so right now it is currently running just the engine, and it's using that to power the wheels, and the battery's charging. It usually gets to about like halfway before it really starts to prioritize battery charging, and if I'm going fast, it'll do that too. But it actually will go into EV mode on the highway. So doing about 120, I've seen it go into full EV mode and just kind of let me coast on that. But if I need more power, say I need to overtake somebody, it will then kick on the engine again. So it won't, it'll coast, kind of ride a speed limit at whatever, say 110, 120, whatever. It'll ride that speed limit, but the second I need more power because I want to pass somebody, it's going to kick the engine back on usually. And most of the time, if I'm in eco mode, it's using the front wheel versus the all-wheel drive. This morning I had to be in snow mode because there was some snow on the roads, so I had to be in that mode, and it was using its all-wheel drive system to do that. But most of the time, I can see here that it is just powering the front wheels, which is very nice. So yeah, other than that, visibility is very decent. No complaints there. I feel comfortable in the seat. I can do a long road trip in here. Lane centering is pretty elite as well. So is, the cruise control adaptive. So, this thing on long hauls would be very good. And again, I think it would be very, very efficient. The only reason I'm not getting the high-end efficient numbers is just simply because I don't have that long of a commute to the office, and I haven't been able to drive it as much as I want to. So naturally that number is just going to be a little higher. But as we get deeper into the week, possibly at the end of the week, we'll see, as I drive it a little bit more this week, what that number truly is, and I'll put more kilometers as we go through the week here. So I will pick it back up a little bit later. Okay, so here we go. I've got the GoPro, or not the GoPro, but I've got the tripod set up so you get a pretty cool view of our hybrid system here, or our hybrid engine here in the Tucson Hybrid. Very compact, but still quite a bit of power, because we have a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine giving us 238 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. I believe those are the right numbers. If not, of course, you'll see them on the screen right here. And of course, we have, I believe it's like a 1.2 or 1.6 kilowatt hour battery hybrid capacity in here. So pretty good too, pretty efficient. I think I've been seeing 9 liters per 100 kilometers this week. So overall, very good. I like the little hybrid thing there. Kind of some design elements in here. And I believe this is its little hybrid system right over here. So everything's packed up front, nice and ready to go for you. All right, recording now for my video, Hyundai Tucson. Let's go. All right, so last time looking at the Hyundai Tucson from the exterior, what a nice week it's been. Look, this is probably my last time with the car in general. I'm going to go drop it off shortly after I film this. I'm kind of wrapping up, getting some close-up shots of this new revised grille here. It looks good. It looks better than it has before. Slight improvements, but not really needed ones, because I think it looked good in its other generation too. But the hybrid is the selling point here. The hybrid is, what makes this vehicle really, really good, and what makes it a standout SUV, because it just sips fuel. It saves you gas. It's got a ton of room, ton of trunk space, ton of rear space. Really, really solid all-wheel drive. So, like, it's just a great all-around SUV. If you can afford it in the Ultimate trim, do it. You'll get a bunch of cool things that come included with getting an Ultimate trim, so I can recommend it for that. But if you can't afford it, you just get the preferred, and you'll still get the hybrid system that sips fuel, that saves you money. You get the good ride quality, the quiet sounding interior, and everything else in between. I really, really did enjoy my time with this 2025 Tucson Hybrid. Let me know what you think. I always want to know what you guys think about these vehicles. Why the Tucson Hybrid? Why not? Or maybe you're going for one of its competitors. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm going to go ahead and drop this guy off now and get out of here and pick up the next vehicle that we have for next week. So make sure you like, subscribe if you want to see what that car is. And with that being said, I'll see you next week. See you in the next car. Take care.